how close have you gotten to an absolute nothing from which you would want to start your explanations?
This is the Tower of Turtles problem, that we explain the universe in terms of something else, and down we go. And most scientists would stop at the laws of physics, and that they would accept that they exist for no particular reason. They're just there, they don't inquire. I've never been happy with that. It always seems to me that we can ask, why do the laws of physics exist, and why do they have the form that they do? And so is that the starting point? We can imagine that the laws of physics are there in some abstract Platonic mathematical realm, but there's no physical universe. There's no space, time, matter, energy, or anything like that. But the laws are there so that the universe has the potential to come into existence in compliance with those laws. I think actually many of my colleagues would regard that would be their worldview.
That's absolutely right. And when I push them on that in private conversation, they would basically say that's a brute fact. We can never go beyond that. And then I say, why is it so complicated? Why are all these laws in all these different ways? How do you get this quantum foam with particles in and out and calculations and frequencies and all that? They said that's just it. We can never go beyond that.
Right. So they're accepting their package of marvels, these laws, as something that just exists reasonlessly. There's no explanation, unexplained underpinning of the universe. Sometimes I call that a super turtle that holds everything up. So on that view, the reason why there is something rather than nothing is because that the laws that are pre-existing, maybe not in a time sense, but in a logical sense, have the power to bring into existence a universe from nothing. And so people get confused about what you mean by nothing. I'm not talking about empty space. I'm talking about, like what Stephen Hawking says, you can ask what lies north of the North Pole. The answer is nothing. Not because there's some mysterious land of nothingness there, but because there ain't no such place as north of the North Pole. It's simply not defined. And in a simple model of the Big Bang, not in the multiverse, but just the good old single Big Bang that we knew and loved when I was a student, you continue the universe backwards to that Big Bang, and it isn't that this is a sudden explosion of a lump of something in a pre-existing void. It's that go back to that point, and that's where space and time come into existence from nothing. So what is before that is like what is north of the North Pole. So it's just not there. It's not emptiness. But the laws of physics are supposed to transcend all this. So that's deeply puzzling, of course. And the question is, why are there laws of physics at all? Where do they come from? And now there's what looks like a facile answer to why there's something rather than nothing. For example, laws of physics is that there's only one way to have nothing, but there are many ways to have something. Many of my colleagues, I think, actually take that quite seriously.